2020 Pro Football Hall of Fame Blue Ribbon panel convened in Canton, Ohio, where it all is, where the busts live, to select the history-making centennial slate of 10 seniors, 3 contributors, and 2 coaches. Bill Cowher and Jimmy Johnson were revealed this past weekend. Nate was there for one of them, for Bill Cowher on the CBS set. 2 coaches will be inducted to the Hall of Fame. There's still several to go, 13 actually. So we will induct the Hall of Fame Centennial exclusively, Schrags, on Good Morning Football. How special is this?
It's amazing. It's tomorrow morning on our show, 7 a.m. Eastern. We've got 13 different new inductees to the Hall of Fame, and we're going to be able to be the ones to tell you. And if you tune in right here, there are so many names in the finalist list, and only a select few will make it. It is a huge, huge deal for our show, and it's very cool that the Pro Football Hall of Fame is giving us that opportunity.
President David Baker will be here in studio. We don't know who's going to be inducted. We will do it as we go, and it'll be a really celebratory, special day. Will Selva's out in the newsroom in Culver City this morning with more from Coast to Coast. Will?
Hey, what's going on there, Kay and guys? Happy Tuesday to you all. Can't wait for tomorrow's show. Meanwhile, in the news, the Titans trying to do what only 2 teams have done since 1990, beat the top 3 seeds in their respective conference in a single postseason. The Packers did it in 2010. The Steelers did it in 2005. Both ended up winning the Super Bowl. Tennessee took down the number 3 seed, Tom Brady and the Patriots, as we recap. Then they took down the number 1 seed, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. Now the focus is on the 2 seed, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Titans defensive end Jurrell Casey, also friend of the show, on facing the gauntlet of MVPs past, present, and future.
Man, it's incredible. You know, you get these quarterbacks that you match up against. For a defensive guy, that's what we live for, defensive games. And it's going to come down to us to make sure we contain him and his abilities and the things that he can do out there with the passes, the different ways he can throw the ball, the way he can move in the pocket. The guy doesn't look to scramble too much, but when he do, it's beautiful. And so we got to make sure we contain him the same way we did with Jackson, the same way we try to do with Watson when we play against him. We play against a couple mobile quarterbacks, so we understand how that works. Biggest thing is just going to make sure we get him down on the ground when we do get around him.
Casey and the Titans, the Chiefs, Niners, and Packers are all in the throes of the postseason. It also happens to coincide with the flu season. The Packers were particularly hit hard by it as 3 players appeared on the injury report. Green Bay having to deal with this flu outbreak prior to the win over the Seahawks. Packers running back Jamal Williams didn't get sick, and he knows why, people.
Portland says he's drinking a lot of emergency to fight this bug. What are you doing to try to avoid this bug around the locker room? Yeah.
I got positive energy. I don't feel negativity. And sickness is a negativity, so I don't got it.
Sickness is negativity. So when I can only breathe through one nostril, that's because I'm being negative. Who needs emergency? Who needs OJ? Who needs NyQuil? It's all about positivity, people. That's what it's all about.
That's good. Will, you are not down with the sickness. You're my man.
No.
Thank you.
Selva, oh, you're getting musical.
Yeah.
Can you hit the drums for me, please? Because it's time for Believe It or Not.
Let's go.
Aggressivo. The NFC Championship is set. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers head to Santa Clara to take on the Niners. Green Bay has played in the Pacific time zone twice this season. They have lost both times, and they've lost big. Believe it or not, the Packers should be concerned with their 15-plus point losses on the West Coast. 15 or more points. They're losing by that.
It's a lot. I remember when they lost to the Chargers, Rodgers had a little rant about, we got to look at how some of our guys spend our time here. Like, the subtext was like, you guys were not locked in. And then they went to San Francisco and also got killed. I don't really care where they're playing. I'm most concerned that they played a team that kicked their butts so badly the last time. Put it this way, if the Packers were playing the Chargers this weekend, I would really like the Packers' odds. I think they're a better team. But the Niners, I don't care if it's in Green Bay, New York, Timbuktu. I'm worried who they're playing.
If you handed me a packet when I was a rookie about numbers and how they impacted the game or records and how guys played in certain weather conditions on the road, I would say no way this matters. Football is football. It's purely just X's and O's. Now, at 38 years old, I truly believe in it. It's funny because when Bill Cowher got the call or got the selection on this weekend, I was on the phone with Chris Collinsworth because he wanted to congratulate Bill Cowher. And I was talking to him. Chris complimented us on the show. And I said, hey, man, Pro Football Focus, you guys are really doing it. And he was like, Nate, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And here's the thing about numbers, is that when it comes to football, nowadays they're always right. What did we talk about last week? Russell Wilson's 0-3 in Lambeau.
Yeah.
What is he now?
0-4.
He's 0-4. Sometimes the numbers are as real as it gets, right?
Okay.
But the sample size isn't that big, right? I mean, that's 2 games. It's a whole different team, and that was against 2 of the best defensive lines in football. So you have to think, what have they learned? And to me, I lean more on the, you know what, I don't care if it's in the West Coast, if it's the Southeast, if it's the Northwest, it's the playoffs, it's a different schedule. And those were 2 select games out of 17 that we've played this season. Let's not use that as the sample size. Let's look at all the different road games. We have to go on the road and win big spots. It's not like the weather's totally going to hurt. It's not a disadvantage. It's nice weather. It's better weather. It's they play in Lambeau. I'm going to say I don't believe that has any correlation to what they play and that they're suddenly scared to go on the West Coast.
I don't care about the Pacific time zone. I care about the score of the game against the Niners.
Not good.
37-8. That is a non-competitive game. They weren't able to protect Aaron Rodgers, and I think it's not an allergy to the Pacific whatever. It's to the Bosa brothers. Like, I don't know what the EpiPen is for the Bosas, because the Bosas have his number. That's what it is. So I don't know how they battle that allergy.
It's true. And they got him again. Those EpiPens are no joke either,
I don't think there's an EpiPen for a Bosa constrictor, right?
Yeah,
Nah.
They're going to have to airlift him out of there, right? Kansas City got a 20-point win over Houston. That was the biggest margin of victory over the weekend. Believe it or not, the Chiefs had the most impressive divisional round win, Nate.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, 24-0 first quarter. I thought to myself, this is not going to happen. You know what's crazy is they're the first team ever to be down 21 and win after being down 21 in the first quarter. But you know what's more impressive is it wasn't that they were buried alive. It was that they buried themselves alive. Like, they got in the casket, started putting the nails in, and then they yelled, "Hey, funeral director, can you place the dirt on the casket?" And then, boom, their hand comes out like Night of the Living Dead.
Right.
Like, that's what was most impressive. It's one thing for a team to take it away from you, but they were literally just killing themselves, and then they made this epic
What'd
comeback.
you think as a punt returner, the Tyreek fielding the punt at the 5-yard line? That really was the one that buried him.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. You know, it was the Chiefs trying to make something happen, and Tyreek doing too much. You never catch it inside the 10, and then you never catch it backing up because you can't trap the ball properly. But still, with that said, Pat Mahomes came back and was lighting them up, and Kelsey went off.
I think we're going to lose it in the spirit of the NFC Championship game and spinning things forward in the Super Bowl. Just how big a story the Baltimore Ravens were this year. Like, we started every show with a Lamar Jackson highlight reel.
I'm with you.
They were the all-time leading rushing team in NFL history. He's our MVP. And we're talking about how they were the coolest team in sports, and they wore that. I mean, this was what we were dealing with. These guys thought they were the you-know-what.
These guys got rolled.
And the Titans rolled them. Yeah. Like, there is so much swagger and so much bravado, and then they just got punched in the mouth. Matthew Judon, you cannot bring down Derrick Henry despite what you want to say in the media. And then as Earl Thomas, you could talk all you want. When you get stiff-armed twice in one play and you become fodder on Monday morning. Watch this here. Watch 29. That's one of the best tacklers in the history of the sport.
Bantha fodder.
Play later?
Yeah, we'll be seeing.
This, to me, is the win of the weekend, and it wasn't just the numbers. It was the way they beat them. They beat the
I'm with you.
out of them, and this was a team that came in really, really wagging their tail.
We forget the Ravens had won 12 straight at that point. They were the #1 offense in the league. Their defense was top 5, and they got got.
I'm sitting here listening. No, listen, I'm going to go in a different direction. I was going to go, look, the 49ers didn't get down 24-0 in their game. They took a team that just beat the Saints in the Superdome and smacked them.
Fair.
The Vikings had 7 first downs and really one play from the whole game that mattered. And yet I was listening to you talk about the Titans. I'm like, no, you're right. It was the Titans. The Niners were great. It was the Titans.
The only reason you guys are surprised about the Titans winning the game because you guys didn't think the Titans were going to win the game.
It
wasn't that surprising to me.
They beat a 14-2 team that had put up historic numbers. I think it's a pretty big upset.
I don't know. 3 weeks ago, I saw this coming, Shrakes.
Do you guys want to talk about Derrick Henry some more? Can we all agree on that? Okay, let's do that. We all saw Derrick Henry's outfit, game day fit before Saturday's game, the all-white.
So clean.
A little Pope vibe. I love it. It's a beautiful ensemble. Works in any weather season as well. Believe it or not, Derrick Henry can up his wardrobe for the AFC Championship game. I want to see what he wears in Miami.
Yeah, I think Derrick is trying to send a message to the world. If we can get this photo from a couple of weeks ago when they faced the Patriots, he had an all-purple suit. I mean, it looked straight up like T'Challa coming out of Wakanda. And here it is right here. You don't think that's a message? That's exactly what T'Challa wore in Black Panther. He's
us.
He's telling everybody, I am the king, and he wants to make sure everybody notices. So if you wore that 2 weeks ago and then an all-white last week, I can't wait to see what he does
I'm
this
pretty
week.
sure you have that suit, but it's matted out.
Yeah, you're
you
right.
have
It might
that
be.
suit.
And wasn't Lamar supposed to be Killmonger? That didn't work out.
This is your king?
Yes, hey, listen, Derek's already got the crown. If you have the audacity to wear a crown, go full the red robe and the scepter and everything. And just hear me out. He and Mark Ingram are still really good friends. Mark Ingram now is no longer working. Remember the photo with the perspective and everything, him standing next to each other? If he walks in with Mark Ingram as a friend, just to see the mere size with the robes and the crown, that's the look I want.
I love it. I love it all. And you know, I think about what he was wearing, and I think about what the Chiefs had going on. McCole Hardman showed up with a boombox.
Yep.
He was ready to come. Frank Clark in the postgame was dressed as Rufio from Hook.
Yes.
He's got some style.
Rufio.
And Andy Reid can dress, guys. Andy Reid can dress.
Talk
Let me just
about
say
it.
this.
Okay.
I've seen Andy Reid in some Tommy Bahama in the offseason,
course.
and I'm just saying Andy Reid might be the wardrobe king of this one. That's all I'm saying. King Henry,
about it.
King Andy.
When did this become a thing? When did the walk-ins become?
it NBA? What do you
was
think?
It, no, but
NBA.
in the NFL. But was it this season?
I think it was a few years ago.
Yeah.
And the costumes started, and I think it's in the last half decade. I do think NBA started it.
No
and then
doubt.
they threw a dress code at them,
Yes.
and then they had to adhere to that. But I think
will
it was
say,
an NBA
I
thing.
really
do.
think the check down over the past 2 seasons has catalyzed this entire thing. They're putting it out there, teams, the social media groups. I love it and I'm here for it, but we got to celebrate the fact that this is
Big time.
an actual thing in the NFL before the games. Last week, you, the fans, answered the call. You cast your votes for the first round of the NFL 100 Greatest Moment. You can vote right now for which moments make it to the round of 8. The greatest moment, the one in NFL history as selected by you, the fans, will be revealed on Super Bowl Sunday. So go vote. Go to NFL.com/greatest moment for that. Maybe the best moment is yet to come this weekend in the Bay Area. Aaron Rodgers coming to town. We have some advice for him, or at least somebody does, but just in 3 words.
3 words for Rodgers.
Reason why.